know it. I could tell. But if I'd known who it was,
Why didn't you tell me, Mr. Rowcliffe? You'd left your dinner party and came back here last night.
How did you know that I did?
I didn't. You just told me. Thank you.
Well, there, you see, I told you you're too clever for me.
What time was it when you got here?
Well, I don't know. It was about 9:30, I think.
I see. You came around back here in the garden. You saw a light in her window. You called her. Got no answer. And you climbed that ivy up to her window, didn't you?
Well, who saw me?
Nobody, as far as I know. That broken ivy tells its own story, but not all of it. Tell me, what did you do when you got up there?
I suppose you're thinking that I killed her. I wouldn't blame you if you did. I don't care much if you do. I've got nothing more.
Please, Mr. Rowcliffe.
I'm sorry. Well, I went in and found her lying there on the floor, dead. Then, like the coward I am, I got scared. How could I explain my being there? So I climbed down again the way I went up and drove back to Quaker Ridge. I suppose you don't believe me.
Suppose I say I reserve judgment. Now, will you give me the handkerchief that you took from Louise Mayfield's hand?
Gad, you're a wizard. How did you know that?
It's obvious. I suppose that you took it as a remembrance of her.
Yes, I did. It was the last thing she had touched. Here it is.
Madam Story? Madam Story, could you come into the office a moment?
Certainly, Bella. We'll continue this talk later, Mr. Rowcliffe. Will you excuse me now, please? So this letter was pushed under the door. Did you open it, Bella?
No, I saw it was addressed to Louise Mayfield, so I called you.
I see. It's postmarked Briarcliff. Here's a notation on the envelope in pencil. Not a very literate correspondent, Bella. If you want to buy any more info about this letter, we can make a deal. I'll drop around at 11. Well, we haven't long to wait. Now, let's read the letter. Darling, I can hardly wait till Tuesday night when I'll see you again. I'm moving heaven and earth to arrange things so we'll be together for always. All my love, dear. It's signed J.
Jay, that must be Jack Rowcliffe.
In the light of what we know of their relationship, does it sound like Jack Rowcliffe?
No, that's stupid of me. But the initial.
It could be the J stands for John. Peter John Kruger.
Uh-huh.
This must be our mysterious correspondent now. Come in.
Well, ladies, here I am. Johnny on the spot, like I says. Know we do business?
You're the Kruger chauffeur, aren't you, Mr.
Gargan's the name. Chauffeur and bodyguard.
I'm sure you're efficient in both departments, Mr. Gargan. But why the bodyguard?
Well, it's like this. The Krugers are important people, see?
Mm-hmm.
They're likely to be bothered by cranks and other undesirable citizens, get it? They need protection. And I'm the guy that can protect them.
Yes, I can see that, Gargan. But now, about this letter.
Yeah, that's right. Well, do I sing or don't I?
That depends on your song, Gargan. First, tell me, how did you manage to get hold of this letter?
Well, it's like this. I always get the mail, see? And I always deliver it. But yesterday, Mrs. Kruger and the old dame are with me. I go in and get the mail, and I look through it to see if there's something for me. And I see this letter. Well, when I come out to the car, Mrs. Kruger says, give me the mail. I hands it to her. And when I get it back, this letter ain't with the others. Well, I don't think much about it till last night when this Mayfield dame is bumped off. Then I begin to smell a rat. And this morning, I does a little mooching around. And here it is.
Very graphic, Gargan.
How's that?
Oh, skip it. Now, what further information have you to give us, Gargan?
I can tell you who sent that letter to the Mayfield dame.
So, for how much?
Half a G.
$500? That's an expensive song, Gargan.
Ah, nuts. You can put it on the expense account.
You're right. Nuts it is. The $500 is yours.
Thanks.
Here you are. Now, who sent this letter to Louise Mayfield?
Well, it was the one that...
Gargan.
Madam Story, is he dead?
Yes, the shot came through that window.
But why?
To keep him from telling us who sent that letter to Louise. Help me put him in that closet over there.
Brzezika, I won't let you. You can't. You've got to report it.
If I report it now, the police would interfere with all my plans. I need 24 hours.
You're risking your reputation.
We've taken risks before.
But this is concealing a murder. Why do you need 24 hours?
To learn the secret of this, Bella.
Why, that's one of Mrs. Kruger's handkerchiefs.
No, Bella. It's the handkerchief. The one Rowcliffe found on Louise Mayfield's body. I'm staking my reputation on this little scrap of lace.
Madam Story, Potter is back.
Oh, that's good, Bella. Did he bring back the handkerchief from the laboratory report?
Yes, here they are.
Just as I thought. Oh, what a horrible use for such a lovely thing. This handkerchief was the murder weapon, Bella.
But how could it have been?
Because our murderer knew that Louise Mayfield used gardenia toilet water.
But can we find out who sent it?
I rather think we can. Bella, get those 4 lace handkerchiefs that Suzanne got for me from Mrs. Kruger.
What are you going to do now?
Now, my dear Bella, I'm going out to present a noose to a murderer. Mr. Rowcliffe, I wanted to return this handkerchief to you for safekeeping. I'll want it back tomorrow morning. I don't know how at present. But I feel this handkerchief will be the means of proving who killed Louise Mayfield. So guard it carefully.
Well, I'll do that. You can depend on me, Madam Story.
Thank you, Mr. Rowcliffe. Miss McPeak, the greatest proof that I'm not against you is that I'm going to ask you to keep this handkerchief for me. The most important piece of evidence I have. I have no assurance the murderer would not kill me to get it back. But it would never be supposed that I'd given it to you to guard. Will you keep it for me until tomorrow morning?
No, don't worry. I'll keep it safe.
Thank you, Miss McPeak. Mrs. Kruger, what I came to see you...
What?
No, it's not. It's the handkerchief. It's the one that was sent to Louise Mayfield.
Where'd you get it?
Well, I can't tell you that now, but I'm afraid it was the cause of her death.
Oh, how horrible.
What I'm going to ask you to do is to hold it for me, just until tomorrow morning. But, Mr. Guion, you can help.
What is the real situation, Madam Story?
Oh, I wish I knew. I suspect, but I have no proof. I can go no further without the assistance from the chemists.
Whom do you suspect?
Oh, you know.
I'm afraid I do.
Well, what I want you to do is to keep this dreadful handkerchief for me until tomorrow morning. Mrs. Kruger, I've asked you, Mr. Guion, Miss McPeak, and Mr. Rowcliffe to meet me here this morning in order that we may determine who murdered Louise Mayfield.
What do you mean?
You know, Madam Story? You know who killed her?
I believe I do, Mrs. Kruger, but I hope to prove it. I know that lace handkerchief was sent to her through the mail was the murder weapon. Perhaps that can tell us something. May I have the handkerchief, please?
Why, certainly.
Sure, my
Oh,
dear.
here you are.
Why, I thought
I don't understand.
I say, what is this?
So,
a trick.
that's right, Miss McPeak, a trick. But one only a guilty person need fear.
But really, Madam Story, I don't
Bella.
understand.
Yes, Madam Story. Please take the handkerchiefs one at a time. Mark each in pencil with the initials of the person from whom you receive it.
May I have the handkerchiefs, please?
Yes,
One at a time,
Well,
please.
all right.
Now, Bella, spread them out on your desk with the initials turned face down. As you probably surmise, none of you had the original handkerchief. That has never left my possession. Here it is.
But I don't understand.
This handkerchief in my hand is impregnated with a deadly poison. When moistened with alcohol, it releases a lethal gas which is instantly fatal. May I remind you that perfume is 90% alcohol. And a young girl about to go out on a romantic tryst would inevitably moisten it with perfume.
How horrible.
Yes, Mr. Guion, I agree with you.
But surely you don't suspect any of us.
Why not, Miss McPeak? I've found that a murderer is usually actuated by fear. Fear of what the victim might do to them. All of you faced that fear as far as Louise Mayfield was concerned. But one of you feared so deeply that you dared risk murder to protect what you had. You feared loss of position, prestige, supplanting by a younger, more attractive girl, loss of all that had made life worth living. That one person alone knew what the fatal handkerchief contained. I gave each one of you what you thought was that handkerchief. I was curious to see what disposition you would make of the evidence. Bella.
Yes?
Please examine those 4 handkerchiefs carefully. And when you've done that, tell me if any of them are changed since they left our hands last evening.
Yes. This one has been washed.
Washed? Well, I don't understand.
Read the initials on it.
T-D-E-G.
Teresa. Teresa!
Keep away from me. Keep away from me, I say. Keep away from me. I'll shoot.
Why, you... Cat. She's shot herself.
Oh, it's all my fault. Oh, poor Teresa. Poor thing. She was old. She couldn't stand it. She just couldn't stand it.
No, Mrs. Kruger. It wasn't your fault. It was better so. The end of a passing world. Exit an era.
You have been listening to Murder Clinic. Murder Clinic, the WOR Mutual series which brings you each week one exciting case, one member from the select band of the world's great detectives. Next week, Murder Clinic will bring you Sir Henry Merivale, known to his host of admirers as H.M. in Death in the Dressing Room. This famous detective finds a brilliantly clever pickpocket and discovers an even more clever murderer. Tonight's detective was Madame Rosika Story, played by Elizabeth Morgan. Original music was composed by Ralph Barnhart and conducted by Bob Stanley. This program was an international exchange feature over the coast-to-coast network of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Tales told on Murder Clinic are adaptations by authors Lee Wright and John A. Bassett. Murder Clinic is produced under the direction of Alvin Flanagan. Frank Knight speaking. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.